Hi, I'm Danny. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'll be working on my 2009 Honda Civic's HVAC system. What's happening is the airflow is distributing through the wrong vents. I think it's a mode actuator, but I want to be sure before I go ahead and replace it. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to diagnose it and replace it. Let's get started. So I want to show you exactly what's going on. I've got my fan on and my AC control head in the center vent mode. So I'm getting a little bit of airflow here. And if I put it in the defrost mode where it needs to come out and hit the windshield, I'm feeling no airflow here. So the way I'm going to diagnose it is first check codes in the AC control head. Let me show you how to do that. My key's in the ignition. It's not on right now. I'm going to hold the rear defogger and the recirc button, and then I'm going to turn my key on. It's going to go through a series of tests. I'm going to just keep holding everything. Everything's shut off. And it's flashing a code. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got a code 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go see what code 4 is. So here's a list of all the possible diagnostic codes, and you can pause the video and read through them, but we're only interested in code 4, and that's an open or short in the mode control motor. Let me show you how to diagnose that. Now the mode actuator, the one that controls where the airflow goes, that's going to be behind the glove box. And if you're looking for the one that controls the temperature from hot to cold, that's going to be on the left side near your gas pedal, and I'll show you how to diagnose that in a different video. Next, I'm going to show you how I'm going to set up my meter to make our checks. Now I really like this connector kit. I use it all the time. On this one, it has all sorts of different leads that you can just connect into your connectors. And then it also has the back probe. And I use these with these extension leads. A lot of times I don't even use my meter leads. So I'll just go ahead and plug the positive into the voltage, the negative into the COM. The red one is going to go to the red, and then the black one is going to go to the black back probe. I'll put it on the voltage scale, and let's go do our tests. So I'm going to disconnect the connector that goes to that mode actuator. Just pull it out. I'm going to take the common terminal of the meter, and I'm going to hook it at the bottom wire, which is a red wire. And I'm going to back probe it here. Make sure that sticks. Then I'm going to take the red wire, which is on the voltage, and I'm going to check the next 4. I should have 5 volts on each one of them, but I do have to turn on the key first. And now let's go ahead and check this one. I've got 5 volts. The next one over, that's 5 volts. The next one over, that's 5 volts. And the next one over, there's 5 volts. So as long as I've got the common ground here and 5 volts on each one of them, the most likely cause is going to be that mode actuator, and that's what we're going to put on next. This is the mode actuator I'm going to be installing today. It's not OEM. I picked this up on Amazon. It was $25. OEM one was $75. I'll put a link to this in the description along with an OEM one if you want that one. And then also I'll put that connector kit and anything else I use in today's video. I'll put that in the description so you can pick that up if you're interested in it. But let's get this installed. So the first thing we want to do is pull down this cover. So to pull this off, it's just a yank. Just grab an area you can pull it down, pull it down, it just comes off. There's just a couple of small clips, 3 there, and then when it goes back in, these just need to notch up back here. But let's take this off from now, and I'll show you how it goes back in later. Next, it's just a matter of pulling down the glove box. Just grab it in the middle here and just push it towards each other. What you're doing is you're pushing this in. That way these clear, it stops, and then the glove box just sets right down. And then there's our mode actuator. Now let's go ahead and just disconnect the connector. And it's just that little tab right there. And then also we need to remove that. And if you have like a little 1/4 inch socket, you can just put your 1/4 inch socket over it. And then you can pull it out that way. So if you look up right here, there's a little screw here that needs to come out, and that's a 7mm. I'm going to go ahead and pop that out first. Just got a little ratchet with the 7mm wrench, and then there it is. I also need to pull this one out. You can use a screwdriver, or I'm going to use another 10mm here. There we go. That's what that one looked like. Now there's one more holding it in. Let me show you where that is. Now if you look up here from the floorboard, you can actually see that last screw that you need to pull out. Now I can use a 7mm on a ratchet, or this works a whole lot better. It's just a nut driver, and this kind of bends whatever way you want it to. And then I can get in there and get it this way, and that's what I'm going to use. All right, so here's how I'm going to do it. It's not easy to film, so hopefully I'm getting a halfway decent shot. There we go. I think I got it. There we go. And from here, I just got to remove that screw, and this is probably going to be the hardest part. And then this will just come down from here. There we go. All right, so there's 2 more screws down here, one there and one over there. I'm going to use a short 7mm on a ratchet. You're not going to be able to see much of this because my hand's going to be in the way, but we're going to show it anyway, okay? Now the other way to do this is just come underneath. Just jump on it right here and just unscrew it. And I think this is probably going to be the easier way. And then I'll come over to the second one, get on it. This is actually much quicker if you have this tool, and I'll put a link to this tool in the description. There we go. There's going to be one more screw holding it in from the top. Let me show you what I'm going to use to get that out. Now to get that top bolt, I'm going to just use a nut driver. I'm going to use about a 4-inch extension, and then my bendable piece, and then a 7mm socket. It's a little bit difficult to work with because I'm working around the camera, so I can try to get you guys a nice shot. There we go, we're on it. All right, we got the screw. So I should have all the bolts out now, or all the screws. Let's move this aside. Let's see, there it is. Look how easy it comes out once everything's out. And there we are, that's what it looks like. I do want to check to see if it's free, and it is free. Nothing's stuck. All right, so I've got both these sitting on the bench. I just want to compare them. So they both look exactly the same. This one has a little bit of grease inside, and the new one that came with no grease.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use a little Vaseline and get that in there. I'm sure you can use just about any kind of grease. I just want to get a little bit in there so it slides. And then also on this area, just want to make sure it's a little bit slidey. I don't want to cake it in, just enough to keep it lubricated. Just a quick tip, this needs to be fully mounted before you plug in that connector. Otherwise, there's a good chance you'll destroy this actuator. So I'm just going to take the glove box out completely. This is going to give me just a little bit more room, and it's going to allow me to get better shots to film, and it just makes things a whole lot easier. So now we got to get the actuator in. Down here is going to go to the bottom. So the tough part is you have to line everything up. So we're going to get close down here, get that one in, and that one in. Boy, that went in really easy. The top, and the top's in too. That went in really easy. So we're going to put a screw here. And I'm going to just hang on to that so let's see if I can get that a little tighter. All right, so now that's going to hold it. Let me get this one in. And then let me get that top one in too. It's a little hard to see, but I should be able to feel it. Go. Whoop. Okay, I got it right there. All right, now I'm going to tighten everything up. There's one. Get it here. I'll go ahead and get this one here. And the last one, I'm just going to get from underneath. Let's go ahead and just plug this in, and I'm going to test it before I put the rest of it together. All right, so I'm going to test it. Turn it on. So it's on the middle vents right now. Let me go ahead and push the next button. It moved. Go to the floor. At the floor. Let's go defroster. And it moves. So it's working perfectly. Now let's put the air duct assembly back in. This just comes up from the bottom. And it just goes right in here, and this is what deflects all the air to the bottom. And then there's a screw here. And then your 10 millimeter, that goes right here. And don't forget to put your connector back in. And then there's one more at the bottom. All right, so here's the screw at the bottom. Let's get that on there. All right, so here's the 7 millimeter. Let's just tighten that up. And here's the 10 millimeter. All right, so I'll go ahead and get the glove box back in. Easiest way to do that is just kind of push these down And then just put the glove box in, latch it. Now from underneath, just put those screws back in. So go ahead and put your kick panel back on. And remember these, there's a hole back there for these. Just get those in the hole. Bring it up. Line up these slots. All right, I'm going to check one last time for no codes. I'm going to hold the recirc down and the rear defogger down at the same time, and I'm going to turn the key on. Should go through its checks. Everything shuts off and no lights are blinking. I have no codes. I hope you got something out of today's video. I did leave links to everything I used in this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in my next video.